You have all been chosen for the starring role as
The Soul of Detroit.
Damn it!
What do you want? What do you want? What are you doing?
When it came to holiday spirit,
the who's here next.
John Windsor.
I'm on my lunch break, okay?
Mark Fellhauers.
he's never had it.
It's not real.
Well, it was real. I got sick and all the hair fell out.
How'd you get sick?
I loved a woman that wasn't clean.
Mrs. Windsor?
No, it was her sister.
Oh, no.
But he's gonna get it.
You're that kid.
Where's your sleigh?
It's in the shop.
Where's the reindeer?
I stable them.
Where's the stable?
Next to the shop.
How do they sleep?
Are you messing with me?
There's something about
ML.
that makes me uneasy. Maybe there's something I could fire him for.
A man is a sexual being.
Now, a hopeless kid
Wedgie.
and a Santa nobody liked are teaching each other a lesson.
Is that your underwear?
Part of it.
Where's the rest of it? Actually, I don't want to know.
You ass interrogative questions out of my face. Gone.
What are you doing?
That is not paid for by them. That is paid for by the people of Detroit.
You might be qualified, ML.
I'm not qualified for this job.
Let me tell you something. You want to go right now? Okay? You want to go right now?
Merry Christmas, my good friends. I hope you had a great Hanukkah and are preparing for Kwanzaa. And atheists, I guess, you celebrate all the time. So what a wonderful time of season do we have here to celebrate with good cheer. And it's your old pal, ML Elric, here with Mark Fellhauer. Sean Windsor will be joined shortly by Professor. He actually insists on being called Dr. Jennings later. But first, we have a man that we're all hoping to see, and not with Cole. That would be Santa Claus, known to folks on the east side as John McGrail. Don't tell the kids. But Santa is having a season like none other, and we are going to be joining him shortly to talk about some adventures in red velvet. He's like the Mel Torme of Christmas. He's the Velvet Storm. So we will be joining Santa in just a minute. But first, I want to tell you, greatest Christmas song ever.
Yeah.
Christmas in Hollis.
Hollis
by Run
Queens?
DMC.
Yeah, very much so. I love that song.
Mom's
Why are there more hip-hop Christmas songs?
cooking chicken and collard greens. It's great. I don't know. There are some, and as you're going to find out, and as you know, all month we are playing some new wave Christmas songs that people never knew existed, but they're out there and they are great. And all of this is possible only because of the support of sponsors like Roy O'Brien Ford. So if you're looking for a new ride, service repairs, or even a top-notch oil change, go to Roy O'Brien. My mom bought a Ford Focus wagon there. It's fire engine red because Mom, like Santa, prefers those bright colors. And 112,000 miles later, she is still riding that sleigh. And she's not alone because Roy O'Brien has been taking care of customers for 75 years from the corner of 9 Mile and Mac. Go to Roy O'Brien, that's ROYOBRIEN.com, and check out Fast Track, which lets you choose your vehicles and options. But that's not all. You can pick your deal, lease, finance, or cash, and get the value of your trade-in. Apply for financing and schedule delivery of your ride. If you go in person, Roy O'Brien is serious about protecting you and their employees, so you can go there knowing that they are being responsible. I went and did a show from the front seat of F-150 there, and I lived to tell about it. So that's a good thing. They want to protect your health while you explore your options. To learn more, visit royobrien.com, ROYOBRIEN.com, or call 888-566-5851. And when you call, be sure to tell them that ML's mom's son sent you.
Will do.
Thank you. Get those cards right now, please. It makes a great Christmas gift for the well-to-do. Santa Claus, thank you so much for waiting. I know you wait all year for like one night of action. It's sort of like Sean Windsor's honeymoon. But what's
an annual thing?
Say what now?
That's an annual thing?
Well, it's
that's nice to know.
We're rounding up. But this year I'm wondering, do you feel safe going into these homes? You know, I know you got the beard, but does that double as a mask? Is that a 3-ply beard?
It is not. And unfortunately, this year is perfectly atypical because I don't go into homes. I do all my visits outdoors, sometimes around the campfire and sometimes on the front porch, sometimes in a she shed. But that's how I do it nowadays.
What about the he
this
shed?
particular year, because there just isn't an alternative.
So that she shed, that's you and all the female elves?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
How does
absolutely.
Mrs. Claus?
In fact, that's usually the best part of the visit.
Wow. So you're telling me you're hung with care.
Don't I wish? And what the hell kind of organization are you running here?
Yeah,
this is as bad as when I was on a panel with a transvestite.
Well, we're not ruling that out. But yeah, so you hope that Mrs. Claus soon will not be there. Because,
right.
She can even add scores. She's got more than gingerbread there in the oven. But we're glad that you could join us. I kind of figure you got more time this year because folks are kind of bunkered up. But I'm wondering if you can tell us a little bit about how you got started in this business and how this year compares to all those previous years where you brought so much good cheer to the little girls and boys and probably some bad ones too.
I've been at this for about 35 years now, and about 25 years very, very regularly. Ordinarily in a given year, I make 25 or so visits to house parties and to, benefits and things like that. And I see hundreds upon hundreds of people. But this year, of course, by contrast, instead of 25, I have 9, and I've done 2 of them on Zoom. So it really is radically different. And it's, well, I mean, I try to be as cheerful as possible, but I do like the contact with the kids. I like to go to the location rather than have the kids come to me. And it's not just for the kids, it's for the adults as well. There's plenty of adult Santa fans around, both men and women, and you can see it in their eyes. They just, suddenly they're back to when they were children, and they're enjoying the holiday season in a way that they haven't since maybe they were children. So in that regard, let's put it this way. I'm trying to do my best under the circumstances.
So you're not I guess what would be described as a mall Santa. You like to do the private parties. Do you look down on the Santa's helpers that work in the mall?
No, not a bit. That we all do the same thing. In fact, I remember once being in a mall and having a long line, and I look pretty much like this all year round, and I saw the people in a long line, and I was standing there in my winter jacket and walked up to a couple of them, and I said, "Hey, what do you want for Christmas?" To speed things along, No, I don't have any problem with the guys in the malls. They're doing the same job that I do, bringing joy to the season. That's it.
All right.
I envy them their ability to stay in character for as long as they do. It's amazing to me. To me, it's like an acting job. I do my job and I get pumped up for it. And then afterward, I kind of wind down, and I sometimes even look forward to a long trip home on my way home just to decompress, because that you've got to be absolutely cheerful and upbeat and joking around and that sort of thing.
No, I mean, most kids I'm sure are fine, and that's lovely to see them, and they're super pumped. I mean, I got little kids, and Christmas is the best time of the year. It really is, because they just get so into it. But I want to hear about those horror stories. Have you had any horror stories where maybe a kid was a not the best behaved child, and how did you deal with that?
Well, okay, I'll give you a couple. I had a 16-year-old boy come to me one time.
16? Get him out of the line.
Yeah, take it easy, Sandusky.
I had a 16-year-old boy come to me one time and say to me, Santa, I asked for a Jeep last year. And I said, okay. And he said, I didn't get it. I said, well, that's probably because you were a bad boy. And he said, I said, so how did I do for you this year? He said, I got that Jeep. What? I said, wonderful. I said, so obviously you're either a good boy or you learn patience.
We should note that John works in the Grosse Pointe area a lot, so that there may be a few more Jeeps in the driveways than on the other side of Mac.
Yeah, and I was at a benefit once, and you remember Doc Andrews?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I met his children. And in any case, I was at a benefit.
I thought they worked for you.
Come on now. Come on now.
Great joke, man.
Honestly, I have to say this. I had a couple of drinks one night, and I met his ex-wife, Amy. And I said to her, Amy, given the way I look and the way you look, we could really team up and do a hell of a job. Well, you know what? Amy's a little person, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, that didn't go over too well.
Okay. Oh, well, that's just like ML's joke.
In any case, in terms of horror stories, the principal horror story is always the crying child.
Oh, God, yeah.
Okay. Now, there's two aspects to that crying child. The first is the kid is frightened. There's no question about that. I'm an alien presence for some of these kids. Okay. And they scream. And I had one situation where a woman brought me a child. He was about 18 months old, maybe 2 years old, something like that. And he did and everybody has a child who's done this. They straighten out stiff, screaming, and they slide off my lap. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, the mother says, put him back on your lap. I said, this kid is not going to take this picture. I'm telling you right now. She goes, it doesn't make a difference. He has 3 brothers. Each one of them has a similar picture at Christmas time on the mantle.
Oh, geez.
And he is not going to be any different. This is a family tradition. Oh. So up goes the kid, and he's screaming his head off, and they take the picture. Oh, well, here's the other thing, and I'm sure anybody who's had children who've gone to see Santa and have cried, they also you also begin to understand that there's a certain sadistic character to most parents.
Oh, yeah.
Because as the child is screaming and trying to get off of my lap, they're laughing and taking pictures.
Oh, yeah. No, it's a rite of passage.
To me, these kids are going to be recovering their whole lives and talk to a psychologist. But I refer to those as trauma pictures.
Yeah, I have one of those from when I met Bozo.
Really? Seriously?
Bozo in person is pretty demonic looking. I mean,
every clown is.
Yeah. But he's got orange, things flaring out from his head like horns, it's pretty.
Now, Santa, you say you do parties, and it sounds like alcohol will flow at some of these parties. Do any of the women that can get a little frisky and want to sit on your lap?
Yes. What's the naughtiest wish you've been asked to grant?
That's a tough. Ordinarily, they don't whisper any tough, let's say semi-erotic whispers in my ear. But I will tell you this: it doesn't take alcohol to get some of these women frisky that want to sit on Santa's lap. And what I tell them is what I tell them all the time. It's the best part of the job for me.
We should also note that Santa worked with a lot of Catholics, so
Yes.
It's kind of part of the deal, right? We're supposed to go forth and multiply.
Yeah, no, it's I will tell you this one story. This is a pretty good one. I did an adult party one time. It was a kind of a cocktail party.
What kind of toys did you have in the sack for that one?
Well,
and did you bring enough batteries?
Oh, now wait a minute! Don't get ahead of me.
Okay, sorry.
Way to ruin the story.
What kind of crowd is this anyway?
Yeah,
Anyway, so I go to the house, and the husband and wife who organized the party were friends of mine. Okay, but I didn't know anybody else, and so my job was to be Santa and give out adult gag gifts. Okay. So, I in these sort of things, I don't know. I guess I got kind of a talent for it. I can make up jokes about these gifts.
Good.
Okay. Yeah. Well, anyway, there's a group of, and the group of adults, they're all enjoying the conversation, their jokes and that sort of thing. But there's one woman in the background who's got this look on her face. And it was like she was frightened or uneasy or something. Now, there are some people who have, like with clowns, have, bad memories of Santa. But anyway, this woman, I said to this woman finally, I said, ma'am, I'm pretty sure that I'm making you uneasy. I said, now let me assure you that you definitely don't want to see me with my clothes off.
Was that a threat?
More or less.
And what did she say?
And she goes, oh, thank God. She said,
and then
because apparently the host and the hostess were, kind of jokers about this sort of thing. But anyway, that was one thing. But generally,
she did give you her number.
Yeah, right. But I do have a lot.
Klondike 12586 or something.
Yeah, right. NorthPole.com, right?
That's right.
No, but that's how the business works. And I was telling Maddie before, when I was talking to him before we went on the air, I did an adult party for a construction company. A construction company Christmas party. And it was a surprise for the guy who was the general director of the Detroit office of this construction company. He didn't even know I was going to show up. I did, if you can believe this, and I'm telling you, I did 10 minutes of civil engineering humor.
What?
I know what you're thinking. How's that possible? Well, I'm a civil engineer myself. And so I knew most of the guys who were associated with Turner. It was Turner Construction. And, I lit up the room. And when I got there, I had no idea what I was going to say until I got there. And then I started to make the jokes up. And like anybody, I got the feedback and I kept on going. So for 10 minutes, I was jokey Santa.
Well, everybody likes a good core sample joke. And of course, when I just, there's tinsel and there's tensile steel. I mean, it's a natural, natural fit, right?
Oh, here we go, Sean.
So,
and there were some
the brain working.
ones that only civil engineers would know. But in any case, I was able to do that. So the point is, it's a lot of fun. But and the other thing about it is that it, I guess you could say, it helped me to become more flexible. As a kid, I was kind of shy and retiring, that sort of thing, and. Santa's great gift to me is finding the switch that allows me to be Santa and jokey and work the room like a politician. I was even the Santa for the Board of Water Commissioners once at their Christmas party.
Did you?
Boy, was that fun!
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you have 45 minutes on water jokes?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I had a handout. Well, actually, no.
Really?
What it was is 45 minutes of more or less political jokes. Because a lot of the people, well, you know how it is in Detroit, or at least it was, a lot of people who were politicians kind of circulated amongst the various boards in the city. Mm-hmm. And so somebody who was like on the school board who got voted off would end up being a member of the Board of Water Commissioners as a sort of consolation prize, that sort of thing. So anyway, and in fact, I even did something that apparently Mary Blackman, you remember her, ML, right?
Vaguely.
Okay. Well, anyway, I said something about how she had lost her position on the school board, and at the end, I said, "Well, folks, I'm going to leave and go back up the chimney." And she said, "Tell you what I'll do, Santa. Why don't I open a window and you jump out?"
Whoa! Wow, man, you're a crazy Santa.
Yeah, they usually don't get the last laugh till your water bill comes, and then nothing's funny.
Right.
I love this idea of being the shock Santa.
The shocks. I have a couple of questions for you, Santa.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you don't mind. First of all, do you make Rudolph wear a mask? And if you do, how can you tell it's Rudolph? I know that's
he sees him from behind.
On the mask. If it's
you see him from behind, is that
mask, right? Then you can see the light glowing through the nose. The nose will glow right through the mask. And the other thing is, he's at the head, at the head of the team. Mm-hmm. So his ability to get contaminated is pretty pretty minimal. And the other thing we know is COVID has no effect on either reindeer or reindeer with red noses.
But would that hurt his self-image a little bit, his sense of self-worth if he put a mask on?
I would say so, because he's already got a fragile personality, right, because everybody made fun of him. Exactly. You know?
I was a little worried about that, just kind of thinking about his feelings, so to speak. Here's my other question: Is Mike on the naughty list? Or ML as you call him?
Yeah. Well, let me say this: ever since he left Fox, he's on the good list. I don't know what his political beliefs are, but as long as he's not with them bastards anymore, that's good.
Santa's got a political agenda.
We were talking about this.
He's a shock
I
Santa.
thought you were a red Santa. Turns out you're a blue Santa.
We were talking about this when you were still in the green room in the pre-show, right? Yes. And you wanted to know about the political leanings of me and probably Mark too. So is that how you determine the naughty list? Who's on it and who's not? Is who they voted for?
Well, yeah, nowadays, yes. Nowadays, because despite my let me put it to you this way. In my earlier days, wearing a red suit was perfectly appropriate. But nowadays, the red suit disguises my actual blue suit. Okay? And so as far as I'm concerned, whoever depending upon how you voted, is really which put you on the naughty list or nice list.
Yeah, but wait a sec. They celebrate Christmas too.
Yeah, sure they do.
Isn't it about coming together, shock Santa?
Well, the problem with the Republican Santas...
I suppose, let me be charitable and say, I suppose you're absolutely correct. But like my dear old grandmother said about Ireland, I'd not walk across the street to go back to that country. And I'm not sure I would walk across the street. Well, let me put it to you this way. When I lived in Maine, there was a standard joke that went something like this. A man and his friend have stores across the street from each other. And one day his friend sees a sign in the window that says, headquarters for the Republican Party. And they were lifelong Democrats. And so his friend goes across the street and says, "What's up?" And he says, "Listen, I've been diagnosed with an incurable disease and I'm going to die. And if somebody's got to die, one of them bastards is going to be it."
Well, Santa, the problem with the Republican Santas is they're still counting those lists.
Yes.
And then they got to count them again.
And by the way, checking them twice and then 3 times and then 4 times to make sure that the first couple of times they counted, they got it right.
That's right.
But Santa, I didn't think Democrats believed in Santa, let alone Christmas.
Well, because Santa, if you can put it down, Santa's kind of a socialist. Really, you think about it.
Giving stuff away for free.
Yeah, but they also started the war against Christmas.
Stuff away for free and making deliveries for free.
Oh, the left.
Oh, yeah, the left did start the war against Christmas, Santa, right?
Oh, hey, that's bullcrap.
What? I'm scared. This Santa is starting to scare me a little bit.
Socialist?
Santa's not holding back.
Shock Santa, socialist Santa. That's true. You do give stuff away for free.
Yes, that's true.
Whether the kids have earned it or not.
Try to grant people's wishes.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's the right spirit. You can see... Yeah. You can see when you give Santa time to build up his energy, it's got to go someplace, and here it is, man. It's
venting.
Yeah, this is electric Santa.
So, which way do civil engineers fall? I'm just curious, Santa. Red or blue? Red or blue?
It really depends. Do they own the business, or are they working in the business? If they're working in the business, then they're probably on the side of all other workers. If they own the business, well, on the other hand, probably they aren't. But you know something? The guys that I've known who've owned the businesses and worked in the business are all, I take that back. The people, because nowadays there's as many women in civil engineering as there are men. And
PC Santa.
What? Just when I think Santa's going one way, he goes the other way.
Wait a minute. I didn't say anything funny and people are laughing at it.
No,
I'm just stunned.
You're PC Santa. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta be. For crying out loud, you gotta be.
Absolutely.
I mean, all right, I make untoward, comments about how nice it is that women sit on my lap, but it's all done in fun. And it wasn't like I was trying to guess their weight or anything like that.
Yeah, no, that's usually when they sit on your beard. It's not like you're
Again,
hitting
I
up.
asked, what the hell kind of
You
radio
started,
television
Santa. Why are
thing
we in a
is
fight
this?
with Santa now? We're in a fight with Santa.
Boy, this is the other aspect of Blue Santa. He's going blue on us, but you know the answer to your question, Sean, is really depends on which way the load is bearing, right? With the civil engineer, so it's
Well, Santa.
so not all the civil engineer jokes are funny. Sorry, but I'll leave it to
that's
Santa.
okay. You were
I'll leave
waiting
it
a
to
while to
Santa.
get that out.
Santa, you talked about how the pandemic and some of the shutdowns has affected your pocketbook, though. I mean, does that affect your political leanings one way or the other?
Oh, not at all. Hey, I got elves working for me, right? Let me tell you something.
That's slave
These
labor.
elves are
So
really
like most good blues,
okay? Now,
you're
I
exploiting
gotta
labor.
be honest. There were times when I tried contracting out. Like I went to Ireland, okay, and I talked to
Because
talked
they're
to
short
the
over there?
leprechauns in Ireland, and guess what? No, they wanted a lot more money, and they wanted and they wanted they didn't want a coffee break. They wanted an Irish whiskey break. Okay, so forget about that. And I went to Norway, and then there's gnomes in Norway, but you know something? They're depressing. They're always depressed. Okay, so as a
It's a
consequence,
xenophobic Santa.
so I had to go back and make my peace with my elves, and the elves are just fine. They're happy. They got a union. I got to say that.
Where are they from? These elves from?
It's a terrible
Santa.
union, then.
So they were a little too melancholy for you in Scandinavia, but where were they?
Just a little too melancholy. I had a Norwegian friend once, and he was a pretty upbeat kind of guy, and I said to him, I read a story about how Swedes are the people in the world that commit the suicide at the highest level of any people in the world. I said, why is that? And he says to me, well, isn't it obvious? I said, what do you mean it's obvious? He says, well, Swedes get to a certain age and realize that they're Swedes and they kill themselves.
So is suicide a topic
Not expect this at all.
when you're at Christmas parties, Santa? Is that something you hear?
But
When the women are
divorces
sitting
and
on your
dead
lap?
pets are.
Wait,
Divorces and dead pets are. There's a lot of kids will ask me, and it's kind of sad, can I get mom and dad back together again?
Jeez.
And that's tough. And dead
What do you
pets,
say to that? Seriously, what do you say to that as a counselor? Santa?
I simply say to them, look, I said, adults oftentimes have problems that can't be reconciled, and it's not the child's fault that the family has split up. It's just that two people, they fall out of love. They are no longer compatible. They just can't live with each other. And so it's best for the family for mom and dad to break up.
This sounds like a great Christmas party conversation, but so are you actually telling the kid it's not their fault?
Yeah.
Why you're dressed as Santa?
Sure.
That's actually awesome.
What
Yeah,
other?
what and a lot of kids think that it's their fault somehow or other. They did something wrong, and it's not their fault at all. And we know that, for crying out loud. And if we can't counsel a kid like that on a situation, then you take the opportunity. You know what I mean?
Santa,
I'm trying to make people feel happy. The same thing with dead pets. They want me to bring them back to life. It's just not possible. Or they want me to. This is always good. I had a couple of girls the other day tell me they wanted me to bring them a pony. And I said, come on. Now, you two are perfectly rational young ladies. How am I going to deliver a pony in the sleigh?
Oh, you want to start
Without
bringing
the
those
pony
questions up?
jumping out. I said, so I can't do that.
So
And
it's
they
just
understood.
logistics. I like that. Have you ever had to
And-
tell?
I don't think Santa should be talking about logistics, though.
What?
Absolutely.
This is modern
Wait
Santa.
a minute. Most kids that are asking for stuff are pretty savvy kids. Okay, like the kid who says, hey Santa, you're a pretty big guy. How do you get down the chimney? I said, I don't. Mom and dad leaves the door open, and so I come in the front door. Oh, that's how you do it. Yeah. Well, I don't lock the door up, so I don't know if it's open or not. So there you go.
Do you get kids
A
asking
lot
for?
of kids are pretty sensible kids.
Do you get kids
And the other
asking for
thing is,
gift cards now?
I believe.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you get kids asking for gift cards now? I know my kids always want that stuff.
It's funny you bring that up. It's not gift cards. I had kids give me coupons for purchasing things that they were asking for.
And they still do that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I remember my grandparents used to get that big, thick Spiegel catalog, and we would cut things out, and we would take that to Santa and say, I want these things. Now, maybe that Santa didn't shop at Spiegel, but we never got any of that stuff. But I mean, that was an easy way to kind of, eliminate any doubt about what you're looking for. You just give Santa a picture.
Yeah.
That makes
Yeah.
sense. And
Yeah,
the coupons,
kids are
I like
pretty
those
smart that
kids.
way. And I always thought it was wonderful. I was just, here's a kid thinking ahead, trying to help out Santa. That puts the kid right up on the top of the good list.
It's just the Scottish kids,
Here's
though, right?
something, though, along that lines of gifts. You know what I don't get requests for any longer? BB guns.
Oh. Do you
You get real guns instead?
Well, no. Nerf guns.
okay.
And by the way, that crosses borders between girls and boys. Girls like them just as much as boys do.
Sure. Not surprised.
But I have never yet had a boy ask for a Barbie, but Barbie never fails to be on a list for a little girl.
So you can never go wrong with that if that's one of the ones you just have to say.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And then, of course, there's Xboxes and things like that kids are looking for. But, basically, that's it. Like Barbie shows up, American Girl doll shows up over and over every year. It's the same thing. So, but again, girls are asking for Nerf guns. So, the world is changing.
Speaking of the world changing, Santa, what's the cutoff age for sitting on your lap? In other words, could I come sit on your lap and ask for a present?
Hey, I was the Santa for the Sports Broadcasters Association. You know who those guys are,
Oh, yeah,
right?
they're the worst.
Okay. Yeah. Well, not only are they worst, but some of them have spent a lot of time sitting in the control booth eating pizza. Okay. And they sit on my lap. And believe me, I got to position my feet and leg in a certain way so that they don't break my hip.
So it's not an age that's the cutoff.
Oh,
it's
no,
the,
not
it's the
at
weight.
all. Not
it's
at
the
all.
weight.
So,
And the
Not at
politics.
all.
And the politics.
So Santa is a big guy, so he can take it, but he also has an alter ego. And this year he gave me what I wanted for Christmas, and I got it early because John is also Paul Bunyan, and this year he returned to East Lansing. So Santa, Bunyan, I want to say on behalf of all Spartans, thank you. Have a good Christmas, and if you have a last wish for all the little girls and boys and some of the naughty girls who spend time on the brass pole and the North Pole, we'd like to turn the show over to you for just a Yule moment.
Yeah. I want to wish everyone a happy and prosperous Christmas and a wonderful new year, because it can't possibly be any worse than 2020.
Knock on wood.
And by the way, if you'll allow me, I'll put in a plug for Roy O'Brien. My red and white 65 Mustang goes there for maintenance.
So that's a pretty nice thing. Oh, by the way, Santa, is it true that Donald Trump asked for coal because not because he's naughty, because he loves coal?
No. Now, ML, let's get this right. He asked for clean coal.
Oh, good.
Not plain old dirty coal, but clean coal.
Well, that's
All
the only
right,
kind
Merry
there
Christmas
is.
to you guys. Thanks
Santa?
for having
Merry
me.
Christmas. Thank you, Santa.
We'll see you on the 25th.
Indeed you will. And remember, be good. I'm always watching.
I'm scared that you are.
For goodness sake.
All guests appearing on ML Solo Detroit receive a 12-pack of Altus Lager.
Oh, he loves beer.
That Santa could use a couple of beers.
So
Is that what I expected?
So I knew John was going to be an interesting guest.
You mean Santa?
But Santa, sorry, kids out there, I mean Santa. But
What just happened?
that was epic.
That was great.
That's a hell of a good way to end the year.
I don't think I've ever had more fun sitting in this basement.
A xenophobic shock Santa. I love it.
Well, it's okay to pick on the Norwegians.
That's who he is. And the Irish.
I just wonder, when he goes in those Swedish houses, does he take any articles of clothing with him?
Of course he does. He's Santa.
That was funny. When they get to be old enough to realize they're Swedish, they take their own life.
Oh, man. Okay, I don't know how we follow it up, but let me just tell you, John is a great guy. He's a very giving guy,
Fun.
very generous guy, and he lives close enough to my house that I am going to have to deliver that 12-pack of Altus. But if you don't play Santa, if you don't prance around as Paul Bunyan with a mighty axe, you can still get Altus, because it's the Detroit Lager that's making a comeback here in the greatest city in the world. It is the do anything, anytime with anyone beer, and it's a perfect Christmas gift. You can find Altus at the shelves of your local store, or you can find it at altus.beer. They will tell you where to go to get some of that delicious Altus. A lot of things started in Detroit that went away, but Altus is back. A smooth lager that packs a punch. It's delicious. Go pick up some cans a day for yourself or somebody on your nice list. Go to altus.beer and find the location nearest you. I promise this beer is insanely good, and you will be thanking me for this very savvy suggestion. Merry Christmas from our friends at Altus.
Hey, one of the places I saw Altus was yesterday. I was out at the Butchery, one of our other fine sponsors. It's our favorite butcher shop. It's the place to go for prime meats, and right in the front, they had plenty of Altus. But the Butchery's on Orchard Lake Road, just west of Middlebelt. Go in this week, spend $50 or more. Tell them that ML and the gang. Can they say the gang? Is that okay?
Yeah, we can say the gang.
Can we be the gang, Sean?
We could be the gang.
Is that okay, boss?
I was thinking the elves, maybe.
Well, go whoever. Just tell them
the gang.
the key is that ML
The Merry Men.
sent you.
The Merry Men.
If you go and do that and you spend $50 or more, you're going to get a free pound of breakfast sausage link. All the sausages are made in-house from scratch by Chef Dave and Matt Jennings. I also saw Matt's artwork on the outside. He's a very, very good artist. Go to thebutchery.com, see all their amazing selections. Follow them on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and see what Chef Dave is carving up. You can order online. Honestly, you want those prime meats, you want your Christmas dinner, New Year's Eve to be special, order from The Butchery. You can check them out online, thebutcherysl.com, or you can call them 248-682-COWS. I can't say enough good thing. I picked up more of that roast beef, and it's already gone. I ate it all
You
yesterday.
didn't have to cook it, though, did you?
No, the deli
slice
roast
it.
beef.
Yeah.
It's so good. So
You
go.
cook?
Me?
Yeah.
I like to. I never do. I never.
You don't have the time.
I don't have any time.
Too busy serving Elrick's needs.
Trying. Anyways, I got some great craft beer there too. I got a 6-pack of outstanding beer for $8.50, which is better than you would get at Kroger at one of the big box stores.
That's a good deal.
It's a really good deal.
And it's a great butchery. I can't say enough good things.
Did you drink them in the parking lot?
No,
probably did.
I drank some at home.
Okay.
I'm appropriate. Chef Dave would not want me to endanger his customers out there in Silver Lake.
Absolutely not.
I won't change my mind on anything, regardless of the facts that are set out before me. I'm dug in, and I'll never change.
Very nut. Very nut. Very nut infinity. Very infinity plus one. No.
I am so glad that as we put behind a very difficult year, that we try and get rid of the mistakes we've made. We look forward, not backwards. And so I'm incredibly encouraged, because what could possibly go wrong with the Detroit Lions turning to an outstanding Big Ten linebacker who was an incredibly successful pro and then became a very popular broadcaster? What better makeup for a future leader of this team? Because it's never been tried before. It could never go wrong. And I guarantee you this is the way forward. This is a new way. This is the way to paradise. Of course, I'm not speaking of Matt Millen. I'm speaking of Chris Spielman, who I frankly think is probably a little better dude than Matt Millen. But what are we doing? Kidding aside, haven't we done this before, and don't we know how it worked out? Terribly.
Don't even think of comparing the Spielman hire by the Lions to Matt Millen.
Oh, and by the way,
it's not even close.
When they hired Millen, they also had an interim coach in there, just as they do right now. The parallels are staggering, and as nice a guy as Chris Spielman is, I'm having flashbacks.
They didn't hire Chris Spielman to be the general manager. Why are we talking about
But they
this?
tried.
This is not a sports show.
But they tried.
You
Did they
don't
not?
watch the Lions. You don't care about the Lions.
They
Why do you even have an opinion?
I don't watch my shit swirling down the bowl when I flush, so why would I watch the
Why?
Lions?
You're supposed to. You're at the age where you need to check it out. Make sure there's nothing wrong.
The only thing I'm concerned is sometimes it does stink.
And if it's swirling, then they're small poops, probably, right?
Wow. So let's get back to Chris Spielman.
I don't like the comparison, because it's basically because what they played in the Big Ten, they were linebackers, they came from the booth. I mean, they're totally two different people. There's plenty of stories about Matt Millen from his playing days and before. Not the greatest guy. honestly. I mean, there's a famous story about when he, and he told it when he went on a recruiting visit in high school and he got in a fight, I think, with Randy White at Maryland, which that's just, I don't know. So they're very different people. But Spielman, they asked him if he had interest in being the GM, and he knew what his limitations were. And he said, no, I'm not available to do that right now. I don't have the wherewithal. I mean, I think Chris Spielman is more self-aware by a mile than Matt Millen is.
Well, the fact that he turned down the job, he's already miles ahead of Millen, who not only shouldn't have taken the job, but Millen signed an extension when he should have said, oh my God, please get me out of here. But I think the problem isn't Chris Spielman, and I will say this for Chris Spielman, at least he is smart enough to say, I'm not the right job for the guy. The problem with the Lions is the problem that has always been with the Lions, and it's the people running the team. It's the Ford family. God bless them because they've done a lot of good for this city, and that's one of the greatest stadiums in the league. But to even offer this guy the GM position tells me they've learned nothing.
We don't know if they offered it. They asked him if he was interested.
Here's the other difference between them.
How's that not an offer? What does he say? Oh, you're interested? No way. Sorry.
I don't think
just
that's
messing
an
with you,
offer.
bro.
That's just fishing a little bit.
Millen also seemed to have only like 1 foot in on the job. I mean, he never moved here, never really stayed here.
He still lived in Whitehall, Pennsylvania, where I worked as an intern.
Spielman's gonna move here. I mean, he said as much when Drew and I talked to him. I don't know.
It's not just that, right, Mark? They're reaching back to
why doesn't anybody
the most successful part of their franchise in the last 40 years. That's what they're doing.
He cares about this franchise. I know that might not mean anything to you.
He understands what the franchise struggles with in the fan base. So he's going to try to be sort of an invisible hand a little bit, if you will, right? You're an economist over there. You're everything. You're
there you go.
Ornithologist, you're a gastroenterologist, you're everything.
I got my PhD in bootyology.
Exactly.
Why not compare him to another former defensive stud who came out of the broadcast booth, and John Lynch, who turned San Francisco around like that?
Because the Fords didn't hire John Lynch. I mean, I don't trust their eye for talent.
Do you trust Chris's eye for talent?
No, because I've never seen him evaluate talent. I've never seen him.
What are you talking about? Did you ever watch NFL games? I mean, he evaluates talent all the time.
And I still hear Matt Millen say, well, he's going to be playing on Sunday. Unless you've been a scout, unless you've run a scouting department, unless you've gone over the draft.
But that's what they're going to do,
Where's he been on draft board? Has he ever been at draft? Has he ever sat in any of those?
He's not the general manager. I don't know how many times we have to keep saying
I know, but when we're talking about an eye for talent, he's never been in a position to evaluate talent other than the way I evaluate talent by watching the damn game.
He's going to help guide them a little bit, give them a little bit of a sense as they try to find a general manager and then a coach, or a coach and a general manager. Probably a general manager and then a coach. That's all. It's just sort of it's a fit thing. It's a little bit of a feel thing, an understanding of the decade after decade of losing. It's just he represents a little bit of something that was good, and I think they want him around. Plus, it buys him time a little bit. It gives him kind of a shield a little bit. Right? I mean, it's not Millen. He's not going to make any decisions. He's going to be in a room of folks and he's going to put his 2 cents in. But he's not going to put the roster together. That's going to be the next general manager, and they want somebody who's got some experience in putting together a good roster. That's what they're going to do. They're not going to go with Quinn, somebody like Quinn, right?
Who was a baseball player, by the way. That was reported by the Free Press early on. I don't know why people didn't take that as a warning sign. You got a baseball player.
What does that matter?
Team.
Well, Sheila Ford Hamp said she wants somebody that's proven.
She's a tennis player, right? Or what does she do? Isn't she a great athlete? I
don't know. You're
some other sport.
So do you have to play the game to work for the team?
No, but I'm just saying that you hire a baseball guy to run a football team. Now you're hiring a broadcast.
You're a vendor and doing a podcast. Come on, man. We can all.
And not only that,
I'm not particularly good at it.
Sean, didn't he just say he wanted somebody who worked in scouting and knew player development? And that's what they hired last time.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, well, but Quinn sucked. Sorry.
Well, it's all
you got to check all the boxes. This isn't 3 out of 5. You go to the next round. You know what?
If it were that easy, every single team would hire the perfect general manager and/or coach. It's just not the way the world works. You got to take a chance.
What it is they've had a pretty poor track record lately, and that's all ML can think of. So in his mind, they'll never get it right. I don't know who would you like them to oversee this search that would be acceptable for you.
To oversee the search?
Yeah, like because that's what Spielman's doing. He's the special assistant to Rod Wood. So who's the right hire for you?
I would turn to the league office and say, you deal with all these GMs and assistant GMs.
They did that last time. They
yeah.
got to Ernie Accorsi, which led him to Bob Quinn.
Well, that was a mistake.
So you do it again?
No, I don't say doing something the right way and getting a bad outcome tells me, okay, let's just go back and do the thing we did before that got us a horrible outcome.
You don't watch the Lions, though. Why do you? I'm curious, as a friend and somebody who cares deeply about you. Why do you care?
It's just the comedy.
He just wants to shit on the Lions.
Why do you care?
No, because I want to care about the Lions. I want to be unproductive on a Sunday. I want to watch something other than Premier League soccer.
So you're always.
Sunday.
So wait a second. You're saying you're always productive. That's the implication.
Yes, I never stop. I'm a perpetual motion machine. I'm
like
a
a
shark.
shark.
I swim and eat.
What do you eat?
I'm not going to eat this turd floating in the bowl.
I thought it was
should be
swirling.
watching.
I got to tell you,
it was
come full
swirling.
circle,
I thought
which is the definition of swirling.
I'll get
Is it
behind
floating or swirling?
I don't want to get bound up in the details or bound up at all.
Okay.
Because then nothing floats or swirls. But I'll just tell you this. If Chris Spielman comes in and helps turn around the Lions, it'll be more dumb luck than good decision making.
You're so wrong.
Oh man, the geeks have inherited the earth.
Did I do that?
What a dork.
Does him wanting to play with us again mean that he's turning into a geek, or we're turning into cool guys?
Oh, you want me to tell you about one of our fine sponsors? Is that why you were pointing to me over there?
Well, I was just thinking.
Sorry, I wasn't looking at you.
The Lions do things differently and never get it right, but there's a guy who does things the right way every time and is going to help you end up a winner.
He's going to help you have a winning strategy, too, and that's Luke Nowacki, our buddy over at Pinnacle Wealth Strategies. He's going to look at your finances and see where your future's heading, whether you want to be in equities, bonds. He follows all those numbers, all those graphs that go up and down. Luke knows it all. He can help you find a way to provide for your retirement future that, will help you. It's, you don't want to outlive your money, right? Isn't that the point? So call Luke at 248-663-4748. That's Luke Nowacki, Pinnacle Wealth Strategies. Once again, let him take care of your money. And here comes your disclaimer.
Securities and investment advisory services offered through Royal Alliance Associates Inc. Member FINRA/SIPC. Royal Alliance Associates Inc. is separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, and services referenced here are independent of Royal Alliance Associates Inc.
Yeah,
he looks a little bit like Spielman. Look at the strong jaw,
dude, man.
The chest forward, the broad shoulders, a little thin on top.
We talking about Mark?
No, Luke's
because the jaw. You do have the jaw.
Look at that.
Me?
Yeah. Oh. Well, where the whiskers are you?
I wish I knew about investing like Luke does.
He's done. Luke, Drew raves about him, and Drew got all the money.
I wish I knew about life like Mike does.
I'm trying to teach you, Grasshopper. I'm trying to teach you. You just have to. It's not about listening. It's about hearing.
No, I'm accepting.
Oh, what a bunch of. Especially coming
wax on, wax off.
Next time we're in studio, I'm going to bring out a little yoga mat so I can sit here and
blueberry yogurt. Oh, I like that. That's good. With a little bran in it, it helps things swirl in the bowl. So we're up to our Geek of the Week, and I hesitate to ask if Sean has a Geek of the Week because
I always have a Geek of the Week.
He's normally very, very in touch with the geekish, but with Santa here, I'm afraid that he's going to be reluctant to be his normally nasty self and just savage some poor bastard who fate has put in the crosshairs of bad fortune.
No, I do have a Geek of the Week.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's quite a wind.
I mean, it's always me just as a default because,
Yeah, because...
Because you're too nice.
I hate myself. But
what?
Well, I kind of do. Some days, maybe a little less than others. I would.
You're in the
I'm
Christmas
going to narrow it down to one. But all these
Thanks
folks,
for bringing it down.
Look, man, I know. I'll be okay. I'm Norwegian.
Let's go, Eeyore. Come on.
I'm Norwegian at heart. All these politicians out there getting the COVID vaccine. Who have done things to sort of question the validity of the pandemic and to begin with. We could just say those are the Geeks of the Week, but I'm going to narrow it down to one. Joni Ernst, the senator from Iowa, who accused doctors of misrepresenting COVID so they could make more money, saying something was COVID when it wasn't because they wanted the billing, which is sort of silly because hospitals, not that we need to get off on a diatribe here about how hospitals make their money, but a lot of it is elective surgery. COVID shut down a lot of that elective surgery, so it never made any sense, that financial argument. In any case, Joni Ernst was accusing doctors of malpractice, basically, to make more money, saying that COVID was a hoax. And yesterday she got a vaccine and had a camera there to take a picture of it. And the hypocrisy of that is astonishing. Mm-hmm. I guess it's not really surprising.
At least she got the vaccine, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. At least she got the vaccine.
Now she's cool about.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but it just goes to show you, right? Oh yeah, it's not true. It's overblown, et cetera, et cetera. Boom, I'm getting a vaccine shot.
That's a pretty good one.
There you go.
That's a pretty good one.
There you go. But I'm really the geek of the week.
I was going to go along the lines of United Airlines again. I guess they're my geek of the week every week, but
we got. Let me just check the box. Ooh. We got Sean Windsor and United Airlines. Wow, this is.
Do you know United
becoming an exciting and
Joni Ernst?
We never know what's going to happen next segment.
It's probably not United's fault, although maybe they could screen passengers a little bit more. But the person died on the plane with COVID who was very symptomatic because him and his wife lied, but I don't want to speak ill of the dead because, Christmas or whatever. Do you know the story of Skylar Mack, who was on the Today Show? Her family was on the Today Show appealing to President Trump.
I saw that. She was in the Caribbean, right?
You got it. Yeah. She's an 18-year-old college student, and her boyfriend went down to the Caribbean, and you're supposed to isolate yourself for 14 days.
And he was a jet ski.
And that's why they didn't isolate, because he had a cool jet ski tournament to go to.
Nice.
They took off. There's a tracking device they actually have down there to
make sure you quarantine.
To make sure you're quarantined because you can't leave. And that's the rule of that country. Well, she took it off, and he took it off to go to his jet ski tournament. They get arrested. They get put in jail for 4 months, which I don't think is considered 4 months. But here's the kicker to me. So now they're appealing help from our government to get them out of jail because they broke a pretty simple law that was very easily avoidable. She's a pre-med student. I don't know. That just kind of surprised me. So I'm going to go with Skylar Mack for not following another country's rules just to watch a jet ski tournament.
And then reaching out to the president to get you out of trouble.
Yeah.
So let me get this straight. The Caribbean, which as I understand it is a much less privileged country.
You're talking about a hook for climbers?
They know how to. No, that's Carabiner. They know how to track people. Wow, they're way ahead of us. Damn. Sorry, Island Sean.
They're a lot smaller though, so I'll cut them some slack. They're a little easier to contact trace.
I guess so. Well, my geeks are of course Legion.
Under 20 this week, I hope.
I'm doing my best. Well, first of all, I got to check the boxes. Is Sean first? Okay, so we get that out of the way. That's an incumbent. He's been retired. It's like Usain Bolt. Don't run against him because you can't beat him. So we go to the next round. The traitorous, disgraced former General Michael Flynn, who now getting off the hook on lying to the FBI after conspiring with foreign powers, is now his great idea now is to declare martial law, but only in the states that voted against Trump, so that the military could oversee new elections in those states. Wow, I'm really so glad that he was defending our nation. Then there's retired Houston police captain Mark Aguirre.
Oh, a former basketball player?
No, that's a Houston Mavericks, Dallas Mavericks, not the Houston
Pistons too.
I liked his finger
Houston
roll.
Stormtroopers. Yeah. But it's. I always felt bad for Dantley that Aguirre and Isaiah were such good buddies because I thought Dantley deserved a ring. But be that as it may, and he would have got one if he hadn't gone head to head with the microwave underneath. That was tragic. We were about to break through that year. But anyways, I digress.
It worked, man.
So Mr. Retired Captain Aguirre was working with some of these folks who think the election got stolen, and he ran a truck off the road because he thought it had 750,000 fraudulent mail-in ballots, but not just any old fraudulent mail-in ballots, fraudulent ballots that had been signed by Hispanic children whose fingerprints could not be traced because they were children. So in a way, it's one of those crazy ideas, but yeah, it makes sense because that's why they use the children, because their fingerprints weren't on file anywhere. Well, it turns out the truck was actually full of air conditioning repair equipment. So yet another goofball theory debunked. But ultimately, my geek of the week, and I'm not sure whether it's the kid or the parents, but it's the family that got into a feud over the son's porn collection. And this isn't just any old son. This is a 42-year-old goober who's living at home with his parents in Grand Haven. This story was reported in the Free Press by way of our partners in Holland. And Audra Gamble says that Paul and Beth Working of Grand Haven were sued by their son after they destroyed his collection of DVDs, VHS tapes, and other pornographic material in 2018. He estimated the value of the collection to be around $25,000. So let's get this straight. I got a 40-something-year-old kid. He's living in my house. He's punching a munchkin like a demon.
Hey, you're leaping to conclusions there.
And
plus you're denigrating something that makes the world go round.
Well, I haven't used his real name, Brandon McAfee.
The art.
Oh shit! I wasn't going to use his real name, Brandon.
How is his pornographic videos any different than I don't know, comic books?
Come on, man. But the worst, he's acting like he never does this. You used to rub one out before you go on air.
Here's the issue. I used to rub it out before I got on my bike to ride to school. Here's the issue. Yes, sorry about all that toilet paper. It's like, what's going on in this house? We don't have any toilet paper.
I do think it's really.
And what's the shopping list only says puffs with lotion. What is this? But at any rate,
what are you, Santa? All of a sudden,
all I'm saying.
Yeah, at least Santa didn't talk about that.
Is if you're gonna polish the family brass, do it in your own house. And when you get busted, don't sue your parents.
Yeah, the litigation's a little weird.
Now,
and you don't need that much material, right? You have your use your imagination.
Exactly. So here's how this is worked out.
Or just think of you.
Here's how this is. Oh, by the way, there were also 50 sex toys and paraphernalia. The collection was valued at about $29,000. Wow. But
that's what happens when you don't pay mortgage.
Well, it all fit into 12 moving boxes and included 1,605 individual titles. So here's what happened. He won the lawsuit, but he's lost his collection, he's lost his place to live, and he's lost the love of a couple of good parents. So, Mr. Brandon McAfee, a.k.a. David Working, you are my Geek of the Week.
The kids are soft.
I don't care for that guy.
Me neither. Too soft.
I'm going to pretend like you didn't just make my dick go soft.
You know who won't jerk you around? David Hall.
Oh, really?
David Hall.
Okay.
He will not do that.
That's not a service he offers.
No, that is not a service he offers.
But when you see how low rates are right now,
yes,
you might need a second in the bathroom.
Oh,
you will never pay for an appraisal or a reach around with David Hall.
What?
Come on.
Those are free.
Come on.
Just this month. If your current mortgage is above 3%, what are you waiting for? You could be saving money. And currently at Hall Financial, almost 70% of all loans, don't require an appraisal. But if you do, D Hall will spot you $750 towards the cost of your appraisal only in December. So what are you waiting for? Believe it or not, closing times have sped up again and rates are down even further. So right now, the majority of loans at Hall Financial are closing in 10 business days, maybe even fewer. So go to our website and click on their website and get started. If you give them a call, you can reach him at 248-308-5000. Ask for my man, Dan Morrison. There's no reason he should slack during the holidays. Let's run old Dan right into the ground with lots of calls and lots of deals. Sorry about that, Dan.
He's so quick, man. He won't wrap up his holidays.
Dan gets it done. Gets it done. Hall Financial. Lower payments, better options, more personal attention, not of the creepy kind, and free appraisals just in December. NMLS 146-743-5. And now we turn to a man who insists on being called Dr. J. That would be Matthew J. Jennings. He's an artist. He's a historian.
He's a great artist.
He's a trucker. And he's one talented mother. Shut your mouth.
It's Dr. J. Kiddo, just so you guys know.
Okay.
And all this said by a guy who wears 3 pairs of socks.
Wait, what? Oh,
ML.
3 pairs or 3?
3 pairs of socks. Don't no, just because they're in my underwear, I'm not wearing them. They're just there. I call that the Derek Smalls.
What I meant was you wear 3 socks.
That's yeah. No, I got it.
And one you can crack in half.
I'm gonna have to review this later. Okay. Anyway,
that was a good joke.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, it was fine. I mean, I knew where he's going.
Anyways, Matt, it was great having you on this week. Right? Have a great Christmas. Be safe. And now it's time
for
we'll 7609. No, Matt, now that you got your gout under control, how's a funny bone?
It's getting better. Of course, my finger is broke.
Whoa, what happened to that? Well, that happened. It's his middle finger, of course.
I slammed it on my trailer with my ramp on accident.
This is fascinating.
Isn't it?
Where are you, Matt?
I'm in Elkhart, right by your grandma's house.
Thank you.
I just said hello to her.
Thank you. You know, she's been gone since 97, but thank you.
Yeah, way to go. Way to make fun of the dead.
Grandmas are never gone. They're always in your heart.
Hey, great comeback.
Just in
Matt's
case.
on fire today.
Been watching the Hallmark Channel a lot lately.
Just in case Matt might drop by to tell some jokes, she figured she'd get out of there well in advance of his arrival.
Yeah, she heard you were coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, and so that I can finish up, I don't want anybody interrupting me. So ML, keep quiet, and Sean, go upstairs and bake a soufflet. Are you guys ready?
Oh, what?
Soufflet.
Oh, soufflet. Oh, okay, that was funny.
Yeah, wasn't that hilarious?
Clearly.
All right, in 1953.
Yes, we will not interrupt.
Okay, good. In 1953,
the floor is yours.
Well, let me ask you this, Matt. Should I wear an apron when I go up there and do that?
Yeah.
Should I have anything
and nothing else?
Yeah. Exactly.
I thought it was pronounced a prawn.
It's going to show either way.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never thought of myself that way, but thank you.
You're welcome. You're the only guy I know who has an innie half the time.
Huh? Has a what half the time?
An innie. Yeah.
Oh, an innie.
Oh, an innie.
Yeah.
That joke isn't funny anymore.
So we're getting through the LBGQ.
Too near the bone.
We're doing every letter of the acronym. Okay. We're getting through it.
Here we go.
All right. In 1953, the first Burger King opened in Jacksonville, Florida.
I'm going to have a cracker, by the way.
Soon became nationally known by their famous tagline, Burger King, home of the Whopper. Today, the original Jacksonville, Florida Burger King is still in operation, and nothing much has changed except for their tagline, Burger King, stop smoking meth in our bathrooms.
Have it your way.
Do you smoke it or do you snort it, Matt? I mean, not you, but what do you think the best way to do that is?
I think probably anally. Just an anal insert would be nice.
Next!
Mike Tyson bought a pet tiger, and for years it cost him a minimum of $4,000 a month. And many considered it a huge financial waste. You could almost call him the Tiger King of bad investments. But you can't, because that belongs to Chris Ilitch.
Because the Detroit Tigers were a bad investment?
I'm sorry, I took my headphones off.
This is a terrible Christmas.
No, it's beautiful. Power through.
Well,
Christmas gift.
This explains why they haven't built the comedy club in the District Detroit yet.
That's right. In 2009, Christmas Day, Northwestern Flight 293 was landing in Detroit when adjunct terrorist Umar Farouk attempted to detonate a bomb in his underwear, resulting in nothing more than flames and popping noises. Then he was immediately tackled by an angry, unemployed Norwegian gnome.
How long ago was that?
That was in 2009. It was like, what is that? 11 years ago?
That's one famous pair of undies, too.
It is. Poor eunuch.
The gnome, what happened with the gnome?
I don't know. Okay, and finally, Hunter Biden.
That was actually funny.
That was pretty good.
Good one.
Hunter Biden received a notice of deposition regarding provisions in child support and health insurance for his estranged son. In an affidavit, Biden informed the court that he was unemployed and hasn't had a monthly income since May, when he spent it all in a Burger King bathroom.
It came full circle.
Full circle. That's good.
Full circle. Fantastic.
Well done, buddy.
Okay, that sucked.
Just a little tip. Here, take it or leave it, Matt. I was just thinking, if you read your jokes, and I hesitate to call them jokes, but if you I'm kidding, Matt. If you did your bits and talked like you talked to us before the show instead of a voiceover commercial actor, I'd be curious to see what that sounded like.
Great show meeting. How does everybody in Facebook feel?
Merry Christmas, Matt.
So
Merry Christmas, guys.
So this is actually a little set piece to let you know what it's like behind the scenes at the Soul of Detroit, and you can go behind the scenes yourself by becoming a fly on the wall via Zoom on a future episode by making a purchase, a modest purchase, maybe around $50 or so, at manscaped.com. Who is forever changing the grooming game with first the Lawnmower 3.0 and the Weed Whacker. So shave your back, shave your sack, shave your ears, shave your rear. I'm running out of rhymes. Just go get one of these because they are super groovy. They are really good. They work in water. So if you get a little funky, you can, keep the engine going at 9,000 RPM.
For 90 minutes, too.
Wow. 360-degree rotary dual blade system. That is one hell of a
90
machine.
minutes?
Yeah, it's got a 90-minute charge, man.
That's what Mike needs for his beard. I take it. All those
90
heavy,
seconds. That's
heavy
right.
whiskers.
The rest of his body.
Thick,
so, yes, I
dense,
moved through the water like an eel.
lush.
Listen, fellas, 79% of partners who were polled said you're not going to get to poll them unless you pull that long nose hair. It's a major turnoff. And if you use promo code ML, you can get right with the Lord and get here sweet. Or not here sweet. I got to look that up. 20% off.
You lost me.
Plus, I was
back it up and do it again.
I was counting on Sean to slam me. This was an opening for Sean. But
because
he was placing an order at manscaped.com. It's that
of the word
easy.
use?
You can do it during the show. You get 20% off and free shipping with promo code ML. If you send us a copy of your receipt, confirmation, whatever, send that to mlsoulofdetroit@gmail.com. We will invite you to join us on a future show where you will be there for a pre-flight checklist, the show itself, and our post-mortem, some of which you kind of saw moments ago. And that's all just for helping support a sponsor that we hope will stay with us to support this show, which ultimately helps support all of us. If you get the perfect package, they'll send you some boxers so you can keep your perfect package under a very nice pair of drawers. The luxury nail kit is only $19.99. That's a perfect gift for any gentleman who likes to keep, really quite sophisticated looking in fingers, toes, and everything in between. And the crop cleanser is their 2-in-1 dye-free shampoo and body wash that will leave you smelling just delightful. So check it out. Manscaped.com. It's a way to support us, support you, and maybe get yourself a little action.
When do I...
There's an all-night party in room 7609. And you can dance together all night if you've got the time.
As December draws to a close, we are running out of time, but we are not running out of new wave holiday hits. And this week, we have one by a group that will make your Bananarama ding dong. That's Bananarama with Baby It's Christmas. But if you can't get enough, next week, our show will be all new wave holiday hits. So we've gotten your suggestions. We're putting them all together in a special show, but that's next week. This week, let's spend a little time with Bananarama and Baby, It's Christmas.
All is silent here tonight.
Baby It's Christmas by Bananarama, which was a great group. They started out as student journalists at the London School of Fashion, but I'm very glad that they ended up flipping over to music. Still going strong, still looking pretty good too. So that is your New Wave holiday hit as we approach Christmas. Our next show will post next Tuesday. It'll be a post-Christmas show, but we still have lots of great holiday New Wave music for you. So please tune in next week, and we're going to make some big news next week too. So thanks for listening this week. Make sure you mark your calendars for next week. We are not going on vacation. Where the hell are we going to go? Even Santa's stuck at home, and he's got that magic sleigh. So special thanks again to John McGrail. We knew it was going to be an interesting show, but boy, oh boy, if we knew then what we knew now.
Not expecting that. It was
we
great.
would fire Sean and we'd give him this.
No, absolutely.
No,
please. Please relieve me of my misery. He deserves to be in your chair, frankly.
Well, now you're getting crazy.
But absolutely my chair. I don't deserve this chair. He does. He was awesome.
No, you'll be back. That's a homonym. Anyways, we want to thank everybody who gave Oh, no. There were no donations this week, which just means our naughty list got a hell of a lot longer. Mark, for those people who maybe got a little more than they expected at Christmas, how can they share that goodness with us?
Yeah, you got to get rid of that money. mlsoulofdetroit.com, little donate button. It'll take you right to the PayPal page.
So, feel free to share some of that Christmas spirit. There's a lot better causes out there, but if you're listening to this show, you've already shown the kind of bad judgment that means you'll give us money instead of starving little kitty winkies out there. And this will be the first year in like 8 or 9 years where I'm not ringing a bell in front of a market for Fox 2. But the Salvation Army is out there ringing a bell, so please reach a little deeper and give them something because the need is as great as ever. Don't forget our Manscaped deals. Spend about $50 and you can dial into Zoom for a future show. I want to make a very special offer because I know Christmas shopping time is running out. If you live in the metro area and you spend at least $500 on Soul of Detroit products, I know that's a lot of money, but listen to this offer. I will deliver those goods to your home in time for Christmas. You have to live in the metro area and you have to spend at least $500 on Soul of Detroit products. If you're feeling really fat and sassy and you spend $1,000 on Red Shovel Network products, Sean and I will drive to your house, eat the cookies for Santa, maybe leave a couple of reindeer pellets on the lawn.
Case it.
And we will get that to you in time for Christmas. So you can get that stuff at drewandmikestore.com. We have hoodies, long sleeve t-shirts, beanies, masks, gaiters, keychains, t-shirts, hockey jerseys, stickers, and signed Kwame Sutra. This deal is good for everything but our neon clocks. So act fast. Give us time to get to your place. We appreciate if you would subscribe to the show, share it, rate it, and love it. But if you don't love it, let us know. You can reach us at mlsoulofdetroit@gmail.com, or you can call us at 313-288-9070. That's Butterfield 89070. The feedback has been coming fast and furious. Rick writes, who the hell cooks with coconut milk?
What's that a reference to?
Yeah, I've
Did I say something about coconut milk?
I think you must have. Nobody else knows anything about it.
Yeah.
But he is right.
Kyle offers.
He's right. I mean, I don't know. You're
Unless
right.
you're cooking Thai
People in
food.
Thailand cook with coconut
Yeah, I was going
milk,
to say,
and it's delicious.
forget the 500 million people on the other side of the world, but go ahead.
Kyle says, Sean Windsor reminds me a lot of your drunken uncle. He's least offensive, sometimes insightful, and mean to the funny guy in the group. In this case, the funny guys, Jennings and ML. The only difference is he's not drunk nor your uncle. I really enjoy the show and wish everyone a Merry Christmas, even Mr. Windsor. Keep it stiff, not 5/8, but 9 or 10/8. Kyle, the pride of Flint.
Wait, somebody actually thought I was insightful?
Well, maybe they meant you were inciting a riot.
What does least mean? That I'm chained up, or I'm not as expensive as
least offensive, but or
like
that you'll
buying me outright.
You'll be returned.
The payments are lower.
Yeah, no. Who'd want to keep you? Should we just get a new model? And
I promise Kyle I'm going to try to be nicer. Well, I mean, Matt is a lovable sweetheart, but I will try to be a little nicer to ML too. I mean, he is my boss for one thing.
There goes the show vibe. Mark Invays. Hey, ML, love the show. Listen every week. Always a great entertaining listen with Mark, Sean, and yourself. Just wanted to point out there's no mention of the podcast on your Wikipedia page. Might want to add that. Keep up the good work. I did not create that page, but I will take a look, and I think that's probably something we should get out there. Mark with a C writes, "Hey, ML, love the show. Listen every week. Always a great, entertaining listen with Mark, Sean, and yourself. Just wanted to point, wait a minute, Mark, that's twice. What's going on, Mark?
He really wants you to update the Wikipedia page.
Yeah, all right, I'm on it, Mark. Jeez, oh, Pete.
No, you're not.
All these guys.
What are the odds he does it, Sean?
Mark with a C.
He doesn't.
Brian asks, ML, Mark,
I'm distracted
and Sean,
by his ponytail. Sorry.
longtime listener of Mike and Drew,
Pigtails.
Drew and Mike, as well as ML Soul of Detroit, and Charlie, too. Mark knows me from parking and tailgating at my place in Ann Arbor on Hutchins for some Michigan football games. Memories.
He's a great. You've met him too.
I have.
After the soccer.
In fact, we're getting to that. Mark knows my wife and I are hardcore Peloton riders and partner swap. No, wait a minute.
Can't all be
Peloton
perfect.
riders as well. Heard Brandon's wife just got one. We own an FDA-certified warehouse in Toledo, Ohio, in which we have talked to Mark about our manufacturing of masks in the early days of COVID. And now we are assembling and shipping COVID spit tube tests for fat testing.
Oh, cool.
Sounds delicious. If you want to learn more about that, okay. Long-winded, I know, but bought 2 Manscaped packages, so would like a shout-out or listen into the Zoom show. Brian, how about both? Also, we'll donate as well. Yes, Brian, but don't keep the spit tubes. We'll take the cash. Also, ML, you and I met when we were with Mark downtown Ann Arbor for that soccer match a couple years ago. That was Chelsea and
Stay focused.
And Madrid, right? Or was it Barcelona?
I want to say it was.
I know
it was soccer.
I want to say it was Napoli, wasn't it? Wasn't it Napoli and?
Yes, it was Napoli and Chelsea.
Okay,
that wasn't Chelsea.
No, it was.
All right.
Who does Messi play for? Barcelona.
Barcelona,
right?
I think.
Yes, and they didn't play.
Yeah, San will be sitting here next.
Anyways, so yes, it was a good time. Big house, nice, well done. We talked about our mutual love of New Wave. How about some Mission UK, Wasteland? Count on Mission UK next year. Killing Joke, Love Like Blood, love the Killing Joke. Dream Academy, The Edge of Tomorrow, because as you rightly point out, life in a northern town is so well known. The Ocean Blue, Between Something and Nothing. I could keep going. Cyrus, take us out. Can you dig it? Thanks. Hey, Brian, I'll handle that. But we will get to some of your tunes next year, which is coming sooner than you think.
Great tailgate too, man. You'll have to go there.
We'll do it again.
Yeah.
Justin posits, how's it going, ML? So I listen to your podcast every single week. I agree with you on some stuff and disagree, and that is the beauty of being able to have opposing point of views, is to understand and accept someone else's opinion on things. Amen. That being said, I do have to say I think you asked some softball questions to the mayor, whereas I think he needs to be held more accountable for his actions or lack thereof. It is my opinion that he danced around a few of the questions and didn't really give us sufficient answers on some things. Me personally, I know a lot of my colleagues that I listened all agreed that tougher questions should have been asked. Mark at least asked a little tougher questions. I guess I'm just disappointed with the lack of quality questions. Justin, fair point. I'll just say this. The mayor was on in the wake of a 235-inch story I'd written about him that covered a lot of ground and did cover some tough questions. 235 inches, for those of you who are not in the newspaper business, basically, when you saw the print edition of the story, turns out to be 5 pages.
It was long, yeah.
So we covered a lot of ground there. I hope people still find that at freep.com. The story is still there, along with some cool pictures of the mayor from his high school days. But I think a topic like what's going on with the Illiches, with District Detroit, tax breaks for billionaires doing development, that should be the subject of a full show. And even with a half an hour to pound that around, we are not going to get to the bottom of it. So I do apologize that this show can't go as deep on some of those topics. Perhaps we will in the future.
I hate interviewing politicians too, because they're really good at avoiding the question.
I do have a question for
Well,
Justin.
we can box them in, but the
No,
thing
I know,
is,
but-
we didn't want that show to become Mr. Mayor, what's up with the Illiches? But Justin, fair points. I think you're right on, and hopefully, if we get the mayor back, and I think we will, we'll leave him marked up a little bit more.
Here's my question, if I might ask of Justin. Is it okay, Justin, that Mike said Justin posits instead of saying Justin asks? I'm curious if what you think about that. I would prefer he just say asks, but he did get a little bit better this week. He only used hirsute?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Sweet.
Can you think of anything else, Mark?
No, I think that was really it.
I think that's it. Other than posits, what he wrote and then he read. So I guess that's twice.
To those who are paying attention, I had just done Brian asks, so I was trying to keep it fresh, a little variety.
Right. I see. Oh, okay.
Use questioned.
Trying to break up the monotony.
Okay.
I could say Justin whined. Because he's a little bitch! Is that tough enough for you, Justin? Do you want some of this? Anyways, Justin, we appreciate you. We
got under your skin there, Justin. Good
we
job.
appreciate your instant
Thank you,
interest
Justin.
and your support. And for what it's worth, the mayor does kind of look like Homer Simpson, so hopefully now we're good. Please listen to our other Red Shovel Network shows. That's the Charlie LaDuff No BS News Hour, No Filter Sports with Eli, Denny, and Bob. And of course, the show that makes all the other shows possible, the Drew and Mike podcast. And tune in next week for our all new wave review. And I'm going to be making some big news, so you'll want to tune in. Really. So I was going somewhere with that, but it just didn't happen. So I guess.
How about Cyrus? That's where you were going.
It is big news.
And by the way, I'm doing fine. Whatever. I'm not going anywhere. It's all good. Cyrus.
You had a very tough column on Harbaugh. It was good. On Michigan.
It was a little bit more. Was it on? Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
And you're right.
Memorable writing. So you can find that at freep.com.
We're not allowed to talk about that, Sean.
Please subscribe.
I called your favorite school arrogant. I'm not the first to do it.
No.
I mean, Woody Hayes did it. Anyway, let's move on.
We appreciate your support here at the Soul of Detroit and at freep.com. Please subscribe. It's super cheap. I think now you can get a subscription for a whole year for $49, which is fantastic. No bait and switch there. It keeps journalists working. It keeps Sean out of our hair, and it keeps the good stories coming, and it supports the reporters who ask the tough questions. So come back next week, and as Brian said so well, Cyrus, take us out. Can you dig that?
Apparently not.
Can you dig it?
Can you dig that?
Can you hit the damn button?
Can you dig it?
This holiday season, the naughtiest guy in town just might discover
he's a really sweet kid, isn't he?
Yeah, I guess so.
How to be nice.
Good night, Santa. Good night, Mrs. Santa's sister.
ML Elric.
Do you like kids?
What do you think? I'm some kind of pervert or something?
I just mean because you're Santa Claus.
Art Fellhauer.
Get him out of here. What do you mean, get him out of here? I'm a dwarf, so unless you got a forklift handy, maybe you should lend a hand,
Got some lip on you, midget.
Yeah? Well, these lips were on your wife last night.
John Windsor.
Bad Santa.
I beat up some kids today, but it was for a purpose. Made me feel good about myself.
You need many years of therapy.